Alrighty, so perhaps we'll get joined by more people as we go, but welcome everyone. Always happy to see you here. And let's see what else. We could also, yeah, there we go. Alrighty, so here we go today. The first thing we're going to do is to have people just get comfortable. Maybe you're lying on a bed, maybe you're lying on a couch. Definitely not driving. Please do not ever listen to this while you're driving. It's not a good idea. It puts you in a different zone. Alrighty, so just as you're getting comfortable, I am connecting into a type of shutdown that happens to us when we get really stressed and traumatized. It's called fear paralysis, and it's a reflex that hits us. So just imagine that you have a grounding cord going down to the center of the earth from your tailbone, and that you can be helping assist me in this process as you release old energy from your body down the front side of that golden cord, all the way to the center of the earth, where you can imagine that there's a fresh pool of energy nearby, that the earth is purified and it's ready to come up the back side of the grounding cord to you, to be distributed around your spine. And as it's distributed, you feel that that relief, that fresh energy is available for you anytime you do this on your own, not just now. But also, I am assisting in resetting the fear paralysis point, which is located at the ball of your foot, right where the pad of your foot changes to become the arch, is the K1 point, the kidney 1 meridian. Kidney 1 point of the kidney meridian, I should say. And so you can also might notice, you might have no sensation. It just depends on your relationship with your body, whether it's a safe place for you to connect to. Some people will notice the sensation of movement or energy shifting as overwhelm drains away and calm is restored in the body. And I hold these points until I feel the shift. And let me say, good shifting, people. That was really well done today. You've done a good job. It's nice to see the shift already, that change. So great. So take a deep breath in and let that go. And next up, we're going to connect into the emotional stress release points and the end of the kidney meridian. So the end of any meridian is a great way to calm the energy coming into the body. And it's, if you know muscle testing, you can check and see whether you need it or not. And if you don't know muscle testing, I do occasionally teach classes. So at some point, this will come up and you can take a class. So let's go ahead and you can put your, you can learn this with me right now. You take thumbs of both hands and index and middle fingers together. And these two fingers together are grounded. And thumbs are always grounded. So this is a neutral and this is always a neutral. So what we're going to do is take the right hand and place it at the base of the collarbone. It's about an inch below the bone of the collarbone and maybe a half inch. And that's one spot. And then the other spot, these two, about an inch above your eyebrows on your forehead. And just go ahead and hold these points on yourself anytime you feel stressed and you want to process the emotion and let it go through you rather than being stuck in it. So I am doing this for you as the group energy field I'm working on as we're sitting here. So you don't actually have to do this for yourself right now, only if you feel extra support. Go ahead. And again, I'm just waiting for the field to balance out. Great, great. Take a deep breath in and let that go. And we are part of an energy field. All of us together are part of an energy field that's um, every single last one of us is contributing to the stress of the field. And so the fact that we have conflict in this world, both on a national level and all the way down through um, states and towns and within each home, is impacting us all. And I wish that people in power had any concept of that. So go ahead and um, connecting with your body and give it a hello. It is your friend, and it's feeling some relief, and it's looking for a connection with you. So now that we've done that, the next step is to go into another type of relaxation. And this is by doing a type of breath holding meditation and release, we stimulate the ability of the body to be calm. You can look at prior videos of mine. There's all different aspects where I focus on different areas each time, and I can't, unfortunately, because of time, we have 45 minutes, I can't go in depth each time. But if you look through all of them, you will learn things. So definitely you'll learn something more about this if you are interested by going to and watching the prior videos. So what we're going to do is, the orange line is the path of the breath energy that we take. And the bottom point of this breath energy is 3 finger widths below the belly button. So it's different for everybody. Everybody has a different width of their fingers. But do that for yourself, starting from the very bottom edge of your belly button. And so that about an inch or two within the body is the location for you of this exact spot. It's called the junction. And then up here is a very familiar spot called your nostrils. You're taking a deep breath in, and we call this part the skull polishing breath when it comes up into contact up there. And it's actually a channel that's right in front of your spinal column and comes from around here. So as you're breathing in, and I will guide you through this, you will bring the energy and the breath down to this point. And this is an imagination, right? This is something that you are imagining. And then when we get to this point, you are going to still hold your breath, but imagine that you can send the energy of the breath first to this crown chakra, and that we're going to release purple smoke going up in this direction. And each of the colors represents the chakras that we're going to be working with. And as we do that, let's see, we've got, so the purple one, the crown, the energy goes up. All of the other ones, except for the red one, the first chakra, are going to be going 360 degrees all around. And then the red one, the first chakra, is going to be heading down into the ground. So let's go ahead and start taking a deep breath in and sending that breath and energy down to the junction. And then energy only is released to the crown and held there as long as it's comfortable to hold the breath. The heartbeat should feel comfortable still. Don't hold your breath too long, and release when you're ready. And then just breathe normally for a moment or two. So we're actually growing our anaerobic capacity in our body by breathing this way, and it will grow as the more you do this exercise. So we're going to move on now, breathing in, sending the energy and breath to the junction, and then holding the breath while sending the energy to our throat chakra. And some people will want to release right away, go ahead, and other people will take longer, and that's totally fine too. And just notice the shift as your body starts to feel calmer. Now we'll take another deep breath in when you're ready. Back down to the junction. And then releasing only the energy to the heart and holding that there as long as it's comfortable, releasing when you're ready. 360 degrees all around, green smoke. And breathing normally. And now we're taking another deep breath in. And the energy and breath to the junction, releasing only the energy to the solar plexus chakra, this yellow, which is kind of hard to see. And holding it there as long as it's comfortable, releasing when you're ready. Just taking a moment to notice the shift between when we first started and now. And then we're ready for the last one, taking a deep breath in. And the energy and the breath coming down to the junction, and this time heading the energy only to that first chakra. For as long as it's comfortable, releasing downwards when you're ready into Mother Earth. Very good. All right, so these first three things are all about helping calm the stress response enough that you'll actually be able to hear what I'm saying and learn something. And I know if you're like me, this is the reason why I do it, because when I first was going to meditation and learning that meditation, I didn't have the other two aspects of energy healing under my belt yet. And I was a basket case trying to hold my stuff together until we got to that point. And usually the learning happened first, and it was a whole lot of words. And I was in no state in the trauma that I was living through day to day to be able to listen and learn anything until after I did those kinds of those things, those releases. So hopefully you're feeling way calmer and way more connected to life and feeling a little bit more in your joy space. The next thing that we're going to work on is a little bit of education to teach you about how to work with your inner child. You'll hear me sometimes talking about inner children. Inner children are, if you take a particular event that happened to you as a child, if you were attuned with and you were spoken to kindly in a way that you could make sense of your feelings and you weren't punished or shamed or had your back, received somebody's back rather than or the back of somebody's hand for having the emotional reaction you had, then you wouldn't have an inner child from a stressful event. But you do get stressful events happen because we don't have perfect parents. We don't have perfect school friends, peers, and whatnot, or teachers. There's a lot of unsafe things that can happen to us, and so each experience that happens to us, you will have what I have read in books by psychologists and psychiatrists, uh, an inner child developed from that one instance. And then you can think of them as all of the individual things that happened, or as a like a whole cohesive whole becomes what the singular inner child that people talk about. But there's basis in talking about them either way. So there's a lot of talk about the subconscious, which makes people very nervous often. I mean, I was the leader of the line of the nervous people, let me tell you, because I just wanted to control everything, and I was very, very scared. But the subconscious is actually our child mind, and that doesn't sound so scary, does it? This is a part of you that you should have been taught how to connect with and to nurture your personal relationship with. And that's what I'm here to teach. That's what I've learned the hard way, and I want to help people learn the easy way. So the way that I think of the child mind is, it's not that it has any ill will towards us. It's holding trauma for us because the conscious mind couldn't handle having all of the awareness and make it through our childhood. It had to hold things for us. And so it's operating on old rules, and it's a hero. It's just because those rules are old, it doesn't realize that it doesn't have to please our parents the same way. It doesn't have to please our teachers and our peers the same way. So, but it's all about continuity. It's trying to provide an experience that we can survive every day. So it doesn't want to change. But it will change if we learn how to talk to it, interact with it, and guide it as the parent that we wish that we had. And also as a provider of what it's here to learn. We are unknowingly holding back from its intellectual growth. The way that we learn academically in school is not the way it learns. It learns feelings. And if you think about it, we got punished for feelings when we were children often. The more traumatic a childhood we had, the more traumatized we would potentially be, and the more punished we were for having the feelings. Like, I know classic American one is, I'll give you something to cry about, that a parent would sometimes say when I was growing up, to boys especially. So there are these feelings that the brainstem part of us and the conscious mind part of us don't like. These feelings, they scare us. The emotional brain isn't judging them as a bad thing. It's judging them as oh, this is how I survive in my group as a social animal. And I believe that there are emotions that we're supposed to be learning in this life to help grow our soul. And if we are able to do the shortcut version of finding the feeling that is going against what our conscious mind goals are, then we can end up having a shortcut to the process, not having to go through the rough road. We can have a smoother road to get to where we want to go. So the next thing I want to talk about is that continuity that the subconscious is looking for, the child mind. is looking for. There's a psychologist by the name of Dr. Gay Hendricks, and he wrote a book called The Big Leap, and he talks about the upper limit problem, where there's a zone of comfort, and it's the child mind wants us to operate in that zone, not go above it, because we've been teased maybe for being for bragging about something, or humiliated or shamed for standing out in some way. Um, so we learn to keep our heads low and not attract envy. Um, and we also learn that we don't want to go too low. But the more traumatized we are, the more likely the subconscious, the child mind is going to believe that really we don't have any worth. And so that bottom layer, that bottom line of what it's willing to put up with is very, very low. So we don't want to get into that lower part of the zone. We want to be in our zone of genius, is what he talks about. And if people like Einstein and people like Gandhi and the people who have stood out in this world as people who do well in this world, if they had listened to their upper limit, we wouldn't have what we have, right? And we are each here as with our unique capabilities to offer gifts to the collective of humanity. And I'm here to help you accomplish finding out what those gifts are and getting them out, be comfortable making that connection with your child mind so that it allows you more and more success in whatever your skill set is. Alrighty. So I'm just looking at my list. Yeah. So the child mind is calling in events in our lives to learn from them emotionally. And it's not judging the right hemisphere state of mind is not judging life events negatively. It's thinking of them as opportunities to learn. And it's getting excited. Oh, you know, here, somebody didn't get the job that they wanted. Maybe I'll get to really learn about sadness um, and misery, and then I'll let something better come in. But we shove that away, and so it has to come around with another opportunity to learn sadness and misery. And if we don't listen to that, then we have an extra thing of sadness and misery that will come in. And each time the lessons keep getting harder and harder. And I don't know about you all, but I'm all about trying to do things the easy way. And I learned the hard way. I was, felt like I was going 60 miles an hour into a brick wall. And I had to unlearn my control seeking ways and instead learn how to surf the feelings that life is sending me. So tools like this, these are tools that you can use to help learn to surf feelings as they come up. And also, if you have a friend that you can teach this thing, if this is your foot, this is K1, and these are your toes. You have long toes. This is where you would go to hold that point on somebody else. So if you've got a friend who's willing to, or a loved one who's willing to try that with you, go ahead and they just imagine that they're sending the energy down their tailbone to the center of the earth to help process it. And you can trade that way. Alrighty. And if this ever feels too hard and you feel like you want to give up, remember that saying that you can't do something because of your trauma is actually letting your people who caused the trauma to win. And I don't know about you, but that gave me a lot of wind in my sails every time I would fall down and I would just say, this is too hard. It would help me so much. Now, I've seen a lot of people who are willing to give up on relationships. And I certainly thought I would never have another relationship as I saw my first marriage crashing and burning. So I totally get it. But I realized that, the things that constrict us into a certain path are all the results, like I said, of these people who either I like to believe that they would want the best for us if they had figured out how to heal. Um, but regardless, just being born, we deserve to have any um, any positive thing that we want to have come true for us. That's um, feeding us and feeding the group, the collective of humanity, to be true. So um, I hope that you will use these tools as ways to put wind in your sails 24/7, because you deserve it. All right, and then let's see. Oh, always give your child mind a positive destination. A positive destination is telling yourself, like, say, for example, something consciously, like every time this happens, that happens. Well, practice either not knowing this connection anymore, that gives the vibrational energy of something better happening to come in, or the very best is to say, oh, well, such and such happened, but everything always turns out marvelously well. And it's allowing that law of attraction to be working within you. We want to keep the door open to whatever you call your higher power, delivering all of the good stuff. And there's such a thing as karma for sure, but why close the door to something good happening, right? And this is all going to be helping with worth, our self-worth, the parts of us that perhaps believe that we aren't worthy can be hidden from us. Sometimes we're very aware of them. There are often layers of them that we're not aware of. Um, but this will be a process with the emotional clearing that it actually helps with intellectual function and with growing self-worth. So we're going to be working with that as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and work on the emotional clearing. Okay, let me look this up. So knowing, I don't know about you folks, but I have always found that emotions are very much like if anybody's ever forgotten to put the oil in when you're cooking spaghetti noodles and you've cooked the whole thing through, um, it is a tangled mess. And when you start pulling on the one thing to examine it, perhaps if you're in therapy, which is, I think, always fabulous, it's a great combination of energy work and therapy. So if you're pulling on that one thing, the whole thing kind of threatens to come with it. But what we're doing when I hold these energy points is I'm giving the space for you to access one drop, or if you feel more safe and trusting, you can do 2, 3, however much you want to do. It's more of a spring cleaning for the body if you give it permission to send you whatever shows up. And this one, yeah, so this has been coming up quite a bit, unseasoned. This is an ancestral version of that, like a newbie. And so I'm holding those points, and when I first started, I was so good at pushing away feelings that I actually was struggling to be able to stay in the feeling for even a fraction of a second. It just wasn't safe for me. And so just know that wherever you're at, whether it's no big deal to you or you're very avoidant like I was, that this is a thing that grows, and um, that you will expand your abilities over time. And I'm just again feeling into that field for balance. Great. Take a deep breath in and let that go. Okay, so there's another layer now. Okay, so this is the feeling of being a victim. Um, also ancestral. Um, this is actually a really great one to let yourself feel. It can also, all of these can feel very difficult and alarming to us. So just giving your body permission, sending it love when the sensation, if you notice sensation, not everybody will, but if you do notice sensation that feels uncomfortable, just send it love. And you can tap out and just think of a safe place that's beautiful and calm and peaceful. And notice that the energy just kind of acts as a soothing, kind of a little blanket in that kind of scenario when you're ready to just let it take care of you. So there's actually a benefit to feeling like a victim, because often there are people that will help us when we go through hard times. But some people will try to take advantage of a victim. So it's not always safe to be one. And when we feel the feeling, then first of all, the child mind is then willing to rewire towards allowing our goal of living a comfortable life. But it's also, it doesn't have to keep calling in these hard times for us to learn from. And it can feel a little new, and I also feel a little anxiety provoking to leave the shelter of being a victim. But we all deserve to have the power to call in our own destiny, and this is how we do it. Maybe today you just felt the one drop, and maybe tomorrow you can connect to another drop, all in your own time. You're all exactly where you need to be at exactly the right time, at exactly the right moment. Great. Take a deep breath in and let that go. Okay, so we've got another feeling. Okay, so this is the feeling is somebody else's feeling of feeling like a villain. Sometimes when we're children, we think that other people's feelings are our responsibility to hold them. And we can be carrying that around for a while. And then in some ways we feel like we're the problem, like we can feel like we're a bad person because we're connecting subconsciously to the fact that there's this feeling within us that we're not worthy in this way. So here we are, we're finding out, no, actually, this is a layer where I've been holding that for somebody else. So go ahead and connect in to your body and give it permission. You can just be a drop again, like I was saying, and you can tap out whenever you're ready to tap out. Great. Take a deep breath in and let that go. Okay. Okay, so that's it for the feelings right now. We're going to go into um, I'm testing for stress points that have been popped and chakras that need to be reset. This, when we have a goal and the goal statement, uh, I am going to put it in the chat rather than read it because it's so time consuming. And if you are listening to this and want it to be, want to know what it is, all of my other videos have it as part of that. Um, so just connecting in, knowing that the group goal is activating these inner children to allow you to up-level your vibration, activates them to be willing to interface with us and be healed and integrated. All right, so we are going to about 1.5 inches above the head, I'm sending energy there. Some people will not notice anything, and other people might notice colors or sensation. Alrighty, taking a deep breath in and letting that go. And then we're going to integrate inner children. So go ahead and as you connect in with inner children, they're, I count them, I find that the body can count them millisecond by millisecond. So it doesn't literally mean anything like there's a huge crowd. It's just in the moment of each event, there is an inner child experience that's tracked by the child mind, and so this is just connecting, a way to connect to them all. So as you connect in, imagine them in a beautiful, safe place. Imagine them from the age of birth to the present day. Imagine walking up to them and saying hello. Tell them, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were here all alone. I came as soon as I heard. I'm you, all grown up. We've survived and we've thrived. Your home is in my heart. Come home to my heart. and show them pictures of you between the ages of birth to the present day so they know that you've survived. Maybe a half a dozen pictures. And ask if they're willing to come home to your heart. And if they're willing to come home to your heart, then we'll go ahead and proceed and have them integrate. Sometimes for some people, there might be some that are willing to integrate and some that feel that they are not willing to integrate. And so you can run through. A particularly good one was from, let's see, look for one of the group stress videos that's 49 minutes and 55 seconds long. And that has a great overview and a slower run through on how to bring any of them home that are not willing to come home right now. Alrighty, so let's just go ahead for the ones that are ready and take and proceed. So tell them that they can shrink down to become points of light and they can head back to your heart. You might have a sense of shimmering or vibration as they start to head through your body to your heart. And some people won't feel anything, but the process still works. Alrighty. Just welcoming them home, knowing that our integrated experience is all written as neurons of the heart within the neurons of the heart. So it's the home of all of our connected and high vibration experience. So take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, send love and gratitude to every layer of who you are that cooperated here today. And when you're ready, take another deep breath in. And this time, send a buttery yellow light of self-compassion to every cell in your body. Alrighty, so let's see what else we're going to do. I'm going to remove some negative energies. So we're almost complete. Okay, very good. So just checking that everything is, yep, everything's testing strong for the goal. And so just think for a moment of gratitude at the start of the session, how you were feeling, and hopefully you sense in great ways how much better you're feeling right now. And feel gratitude to yourselves for showing up here. You know, you're trying something new to you, most of you. And it takes some bravery to say, hey, I want to help have a happier tomorrow. So also gratitude to your subconscious, to your child mind for working with you. You know, anything that you want to do, if you can think of a way for your thoughts and your words to be positive when you're in the moment, then the child mind will be comfortable supporting that, whether it's art or writing or going to the gym. Catch yourself and rate your positivity in a loving way. Oh, that was a negative thought. That hurt, didn't it? I'm sorry, little one. And just restate it in a different way, in a positive and loving way, um, so that it knows how much you care. And then also gratitude to whatever you call your higher power for always being there for you. And gratitude also confirms that you like the direction that you're heading. It tells your subconscious, oh, yes, I'm glad you called that in, and I want more of that. So we're all set for this session for the week. If anybody would like to give me feedback, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to answer any questions. We have a few minutes. And if not, anybody who wants.
Sorry about that. I'm allowing everybody to go ahead and unmute themselves when you're ready.
Okay. Thank you,
Elizabeth,
Sarah.
hi, Elizabeth. I have a question. This is Yulia.
Hi, Julia.
So when you talk about drop of feeling,
Mm-hmm.
um, I feel like dissociation, I can so relate to dissociation and not allowing myself to feel feelings. So it almost feels numb. I almost don't have any sensations. Or my brain tells me I don't understand what you're supposed to do. Like it's real complete block.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, like when you say feel the drop of it, do you imagine feelings, sadness that comes with the feelings, or is it just like feel like, for example, one example today was feeling like you hurt someone, or
Mm-hmm.
how? I'm just trying to understand it better. What is it supposed? What to expect? Uh,
Yes, that's a great question. Usually, what I say, and I don't think that I said it this time, is every sensation that's happening when we're doing this is actually connected to the feeling. So we might say the feeling of uh, sadness. So we might have a way that sadness feels for us. That some people might feel it in the lungs. Some people might feel it in their stomach. Um, Other people will have it in different areas. It's very individual. So what you can imagine is a, feeling that feeling, just a drop of that. Imagine that you feel it there. That can be a part of what you're doing if you're comfortable. And what you're also doing is just noticing everything from head to toe that's happening in your body. And some people will also struggle with that, and that's okay. It's a practice. It's not, you're not expected to be good at this at all. It's something that you will become better at over time.
mm,
So as you're as you're sitting or lying and listening to this, you might feel things like hot or cold. That's energy movement. You might feel numbness or tingling. That's also energy moving. You might feel pain and discomfort because as you're paying attention within the body, it allows fascia to rearrange itself, and it arranges itself in a healthier pattern, and that ends up um, allowing a higher vibration, supporting a higher vibration. It will um, immediately start sending more circulation to areas that might not have had any circulation for a while. And so I've experienced sometimes a nerve will squawk as it's waking up, and just know that that's in the moment, and you monitor that. Obviously, if it continues, um, then it's something to think about Western medicine. But usually, what I find is that it opens up a pathway that then leads to a healthier response. And after a day or two, I don't feel it as pain anymore. And I'm not talking about anything more than like a twinge here and there, just sort of letting me know that a nerve is waking up.
Mm.
Yeah, so in going through this process, you'll be very supported with combining energy work with massage. Because what ends up happening when we've been traumatized is the normal human response to something is we go towards something that's safe, and we move away from something that's not safe. And going towards something is relaxing. It's relaxing a muscle, a set of muscles. But contracting is how we go back. And contraction, if you're always around unsafe venues, if you're in a stressful situation, your back line of your body will be contracted to the point where it will be causing pain. And I actually, when I was at my worst, illness wise, I had fibromyalgia very badly. It felt like I had three spines. If I was lying down trying to do yoga and rolling from side to side, what was happening was I would have the lump of the vertebrae in the center, and then rolling over to one side, I'd have a lump, and over to the other side, I'd have a lump. So it was really like I had three metal rods in my back, and that's all gone. I just have a spine and two normal, supple muscle groups on either side of the spine. So it's possible to really change your health and well-being, and both massage and chiropractic. Yeah, good to see you, Sarah. So, any other questions?
Thank you, Elizabeth. So what I heard you say just real quick is
Yeah.
that coming back to the body and noticing sensations
Yep.
when the thought of the emotion, like when prompt is coming up, just getting to the body and feeling where it's sensations in the body. I think what's happening for me the last two times was I get a judgment about this sensation, how it should be. And it's like still operates from the mind. So I guess dropping into the body and just focusing
Yes.
on the sensations is the work.
Yeah, very much so. Most of us learn that it's not safe to connect to anything below the neck. So it's unlearning all of that past patterning, and just giving us that opportunity to consider the body a safe place. There's so many ways in which we're taught that the body is not safe. For women, it's when you hear about um, things like worry about breast cancer, for example, it's like, to a certain extent, it's like we're packing two potential grenades and we just don't know it. So realizing if we have a fear of that, to realize that no, this is our body. We send all parts of our body love. All parts of our body are safe. All parts of our body are informing us, informing our journey, growing our soul. And by truly connecting in with our body, we're having a whole different experience. It's able to learn that how much we love it, and how much we're there to support it, and it will open the door to incredible things coming through for us. So I encourage you to become an expert in that relationship.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Pleasure. Any other comments or questions? Aisha, I see your, oh, Aisha, sorry. I see your request. Let's see, I will.
And I'll just say thank you so much. This is my first time in this meeting, and I'm blown away by the expertise that you're sharing and the guided meditation. So I really look forward to coming back and learning more. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So I'm just putting in part of that, and it's not letting me scroll through everything. Hold on. Oh, okay, so I have to send this and then I can send the next part. Okay, let's try that. So I hope you're seeing some new stuff there. Yeah. So you're getting, so I have a book that's available on Amazon. I also posted my Instagram handle, which I have 30 of the emotional combinations that you can, practice yourself to be able to connect to your body 24/7 if something's coming up. And I guess the only other thing that I would suggest is this connecting in here and here is a way of holding space for yourself to emotionally process, and then just notice the sensations like we were talking about before. Yeah. So what I've found to be instrumental in my healing is not just feeling them, but naming them, so I can understand what it is that is happening under the hood, because it's why have it be a mystery when it can be instead informing me so that I can be a better parent for it, better guide. Any other questions or comments? Dalbor, I'm glad to see you coming from Turkey. I hope you're having a good day there. Alrighty, so it's almost 11, so I will go ahead and end this group, and we will be back here at 10 o'clock on in a week. Already heading into, what is it, the 15th next week. Alrighty, thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.